What is up and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to walk through 5 mindset shifts that made me over $2 million in custom furniture sales inside of my custom furniture business. Let's dive in. All right, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the podcast. As always, I am your host, Zach Vaught. Super honored that you would be spending some time with me and brushing up on your business acumen as a custom furniture maker or a woodworker. And in today's video, I really want to talk about some mindset shifts that took me from fiddle farting in the garage to having a team of 7 or 8 employees, a 6,600 square foot shop, a showroom, full-time delivery driver, and doing over $75,000 a month with several months breaking over $100,000. And the big difference here is not just strategy, it's how you think. Okay, I can't stress that enough. You know, you can have all the tactics, have all the strategies, but you have to change your approach to business as your business grows, okay? And so I got 5 mindset shifts I want to share with you today that I think are really going to help you transition from just maybe the hobbyist that you are into a legitimate business owner. Okay, so here's number 1. Mindset shift number 1 is when you go from I'm a maker, my identity is found in my craft and my ability, to I'm a business owner who makes. Typically, I see 2 types of woodworkers. I see entrepreneurs and I see artists. Each one of them have their strengths and their weaknesses, but typically this is a much bigger ask for artists because artists really find their identity in what they make, right? They really find their identity in their ability, their skill set. Maybe they've even gone to specific specialized schools for the craft of woodworking or cabinet making or whatever that might be. And it's very difficult sometimes to maybe kill some beliefs so that they can grow the business. Entrepreneurs, on the other hand, usually are pushing to grow the business, but things are a little bit sloppier inside the business. And just to be candid, that's more of who I am, is I'm more of a let's move quickly and break things and figure out, fall on our face and fail and figure out how to fix it and keep moving forward. That's typically my approach. But if you want to grow a legitimate business and you want it to operate outside of just you, right? If you want to be the only employee in the business, you can keep doing what you're doing. But if you want it to grow and you want it to become something worthwhile, you have to make that shift to I'm a business owner first. And that is the primary skill set that I need to have. And then my maker abilities kind of fall in underneath that. Okay. And so early on, you probably defined yourself by your craft that keeps your ceiling low. The moment you start thinking like a business owner, you start asking different questions. How do I get more demand? That's a really good question to ask. How do I design my business, not just my furniture? How do I make money even when I'm not in the shop? These are the types of questions that start unlocking beliefs or ideas that can really help you build a substantial business. If you're the only person that is in your business, when you're not working, you're not making money. But as you start to grow and as you start to get more demand, get more sales, you can afford to have other people come along inside of your vision and help you build something substantial, okay? Here's something that you need to know, and that is that your income grows the day that your identity shifts from maker to business owner who makes. That's number 1. Number 2, mindset shift that really helped open up our business and took us to over $2 million in total sales. And that was when you go from being busy means I'm successful to being profitable means that I'm successful. Just because you're getting sales doesn't necessarily mean that you're successful. We want to be profitable. There's an old saying that revenue is for vanity, profit is for sanity, right? And so ultimately what matters is how much money do we actually get to keep. If you're running $1 million a year business and it costs you $1 million to run that business, you're not making any money. And that is stressful. You're really busy. You have all kinds of customers. You have tons of employees and you're making no money. And so you need to approach business from how do we increase our margins? How do we make and keep more money? That is one of the number 1 things that if I could go back in time, I would have focused on that way sooner than I did. We started growing our custom furniture company at the end of 2020, we did 90,000 in the last 3 months. And then 2021, we did just over 500. 2022, we did just over 700. 2023, we did 900. And I was focused on increasing revenue. Well, that year that we did 700,000, I looked and we were only running like 10% margins. I wasn't thinking through and really being meticulous in the details around profitability. And just actually within a couple months, we doubled our margins. We went from 10% margins to 20% margins and went from 700,000 in revenue to 900,000 in revenue. Became way more profitable at the end of each month, right? Which allows you to breathe, allows you to think clearer. You're not scrambling around because resources are tight. And so when you go from I'm busy and that means I'm successful to I'm profitable and that does mean that I'm successful, your world opens up dramatically. If your pricing and your systems and your margins are bad, busy doesn't pay the bills. You should start prioritizing increasing your average order value. So what does that mean? Every time that I get a customer, I want to make that customer worth more money. So I do that by cross-selling, upselling, trying to make more money on each customer. Again, we're not forcing anybody to do anything. We're just offering additional services or additional products that could be complementary to what they're already wanting to order. We start prioritizing and focusing on increasing our average order value, getting in front of better clients. Guys, if the only place you're selling right now is Marketplace, you probably are constantly frustrated by low quality buyers. And the reason that is because high quality buyers don't buy stuff off Marketplace. They go walk into a Restoration Hardware and sit down with a designer and spend 40 grand. Or they walk into a Pottery Barn and spend 35,000 or whatever that might be. Different quality of buyers live and breathe in different spaces. You have to get out of spaces that only attract low quality buyers, and you have to get into spaces that attract high quality buyers. One of those is running paid ads as a legitimate brand. I talk about this all the time. If you have to position your brand as a high quality brand, and then you have to run paid ads and target high quality buyers. That's not to say that you can't still sell on Marketplace and still can't close deals and can't increase your prices and still close deals on Marketplace. But if that is the only place that you're at, most of the time you're going to live in a place of frustration, underpricing your products just in order to close deals, and you're working really hard to not make a lot of money, okay? And so I stopped trying to be the busiest woodworker, and I started trying to be the most profitable, and that changed a lot for me, okay? Number 3, this is a huge shift in your mindset that'll really open up the world for you, and it's I'll take whatever work comes to I choose my clients proactively. When I first started in my custom furniture business, I was like, I'll take any orders I can get. I'm just trying to pay the bills. I'm just trying to survive. I'm not going to be known for one thing. I want to be known that I can do anything. And this is the approach that we all take because we don't know any better. Some people do well with this. Most people don't. You need to be well known for something. The general doctor does not make as much money as the brain surgeon does. When you specialize in something and you have specialized skills or specialized knowledge, people know you for that thing. They come to you specifically for that thing, and it also allows you to charge more money for that thing, right? As opposed to just being a generalist, right? And so stop saying yes to everything, and you need to determine, what do I want to build my business around? What products do I want to build my business around? And then what type of customer do I want to work with? Saying yes to everything leads to bad clients, low margins, and a lot of stress. Don't stay stuck doing the same old thing the same old way. When I learned to raise my prices, get clear on what I'm offering and who I'm selling it to, set boundaries, and then also be okay with walking away from deals. This is huge. Be okay with walking away from customers that you just don't have a good feeling about. You think they're not going to be a good fit, or the project is outside of the scope of what's going to work inside of your shop. Walking away from customers sometimes is the most profitable thing you can do. I know that sounds crazy. But sometimes if you say yes to the wrong things, you're not going to be profitable. You're not even going to break even. You're going to lose money on jobs by saying yes to bad customers or jobs that are outside of the scope of your expertise, or you're just not going to be able to make as much profit per hour of work as you would your bread and butter, the things that you do consistently day in and day out, okay? When you get good at saying no, your business gets way better. You need to remember that. When you get good at saying no, your business gets better. Number 4, this was a huge mindset shift when I went from doing more and more work to having more systems in place. First of all, just something to just acknowledge here is that you're not going to be able to completely replace work with systems. As you scale your business, as you grow, it is going to require more work. But what if we could, instead of just scaling a broken system or scaling a way of doing things that isn't very efficient, what if we could get 50% more efficient? Right? What if we could get 20% more efficient and we're scaling something better? And so systems is how you do this. Scaling is not always just about working harder. It's about better processes, clear pricing, repeatable offers, and a smooth and repeatable sales flow. Systems were what actually allowed me to grow beyond myself. And so let me just unpack that for a second. As a one-person custom furniture brand, depending upon what your prices are, depending upon what your processes are, you can generally get up to where you can manufacture by yourself somewhere between $15,000 to $20,000 per month in custom furniture. Now, for some of you, you might be doing way more than that. For some of you, you're like, holy crap, how do you get $15,000 worth of furniture by yourself every month? If you're a one-person crew, that's about what you can do. When you get beyond 20,000 is where, in order for you to still be a one-person crew and you to get more than 20,000 out each month, you're working a lot. You're working probably 60, 70, maybe even 80 hours a week or more. It's just not sustainable long-term. It might be sustainable for a short sprint, but you need to start replacing yourself and you need to start buying other people's time. And one of the best forms of leverage for small businesses is labor. Is where I'm now going to buy someone else's time to come give me some of my time back, right? So if you hired another full-time person, you're working full-time, they're working full-time, you could probably get up to where you're doing $30,000 to $35,000 a month. As you continue to grow, you add more and more and more employees, and eventually you would want to pull yourself out of production so that you could focus on acquisition and getting more leads, getting more clients, making sure that marketing and sales is working the way it's supposed to, making sure that the systems are operating properly, making sure that you have checkpoints in the manufacturing process so that quality never dips, right? You start building the business more than building the furniture. And this is what the last several years of my life that I own my furniture company look like. And it's also what my life even looks like today running the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. Is I'm not always in the weeds working in the business. I'm focusing on the overall structure and well-being of the business, right? And so when we create and implement new systems, it takes pressure off of employees and it takes pressure off of us. And those systems create repeatability and dependability inside of the business. And that's one of the biggest things that's going to give you peace of mind. You're going to be able to lay your head on the pillow at night and go to sleep. Is that I have systems in place on how to train employees, on how to maintain quality. I know where my next lead is coming from. I'm going to get 3 leads tomorrow. I'm going to get five leads tomorrow. I know that I'm going to close more sales. I'm not freaking out about not knowing where the next dollar is going to come from. I know that I have marketing and sales systems in place and I'm going to close more sales this month. That's a great feeling to have. So remember this, growth for me didn't come from effort alone. It came from structure. And that's one of the best things that I can give you in this video is understanding you need to have a marketing system that is predictable, gives you predictable leads, predictable opportunities to close sales. Then you need to have a sales system that you walk every single lead through the exact same process and you convert the highest percentage of those leads into sales. Then you need to have a manufacturing system, process. How do we do what we do? Those are the big 3 that you need to have. And if your business is missing one of those, you probably need to check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. You need to probably get some help either from me or from somebody else on implementing the systems that are going to take your business to the next level. If you want to take it to the next level. Or you can just keep wearing that poopy diaper that you've been wearing for years. And you're like, man, my business isn't where I want it to be. Like, well, yeah, because you haven't done anything to grow or learn, right? So you got to constantly put yourself in new environments that stretch you, test you, that push you into better systems, better processes, okay? The last mindset shift that really helped me grow my business was I went from thinking in short-term cash to thinking in long-term brand. Let me be the first to say that obviously we have to have money today to pay the bills. We have to be able to pay payroll. We have to have money to run ads. We have to have money today. I'm not saying that you don't. But when you can get out of survival mode, you build something big enough, you build your cash reserves big enough, you can get out of survival mode, you can start thinking long-term about where you want to go. What do I want my brand to be known for? What kind of media and content do I want to produce that would attract more customers to me? How can I invest in photography and lighting and a team that's really going to help me build the brand, not just the products inside of the business? Again, that's where we kind of come along you as a strategic partner inside of the Woodworking Accelerator program. Obviously, I'm pitching you over and over and over and over on this, but all of the systems that I used are what we teach our clients here. And so in the beginning, you chase quick money, but over time, you need to start thinking about your reputation, your consistency, your marketing, and your customer experience. And that is what allows you to build a business that brings more and more clients back around again and again. They refer their friends and their family, and you have a system that can actually run without you. Guys, I was a full-time pastor doing $75,000 a month inside of my custom furniture company. I did 2 things every day, touch base with the team, and I checked the accounts. That was it. I had a general manager, had a full-time salesperson, had a showroom and a 6,600 square foot shop, had a team of people manufacturing furniture, and they oversaw quality. They oversaw sales. They oversaw all of those details, right? And so it is possible. That's just what I want to just harp on for you is that you want to build something big enough that you can remove yourself out of, you can give yourself more freedom. Obviously, we want to make more money. Obviously, we want to build something that we're proud of. But one of the things I'm most proud of is building a life that I don't have to have a vacation from all the time. I have some freedom and some flexibility. I go to every single one of my kids' games. I take my kids to school and pick them up from school, right? These are the types of things that you want to build for and optimize for in the long run. If you want to make real money as a woodworker, you have to change the way you think. That's one of the things I'll just tell you. And I say this all the time, but you probably right now are not suffering from a hard work problem. You're probably a hard worker. You're probably blue collar. You're probably suffering. You're probably not where you want to be. You're probably stuck because of a knowledge problem, because of a type of thinking problem. And when that starts to change, you can really unlock all the other parts of your business that take you to the next level. So with that, I'm going to leave you with a couple resources. Number one is my free ebook, the Handmade Business Secrets ebook. Be sure to check that out. It's totally free. It really outlines my journey. It's only about 100 pages long. It's pretty easy to read. You click on that first link in the description below, just enter your name, your email. We'll shoot that over to you. Number two is the Handmade Hero Academy program. If you are brand new, you're a beginner, you have no idea what you're doing from a business perspective, this is going to give you a foundation and it's going to pave the way for the rest of your business. And so it's a low cost option to get in the game, learn some business skills, and take your business to the next level. I say this every single time I pitch this. If you sell one product, one piece of furniture as a result of what you learned from that program that I've built, it's going to pay for itself, okay? And the last one here, I've got a completely free training that I want to push, I want to promote, I want to drive you to, because I really think it's going to unlock all these beliefs that I'm talking about and these mindset shifts. And so this is a free training that I created in 2026 on how to make 2026 your best year ever as a custom furniture maker. And so I want to encourage you, go check that out. It's about an hour long. At the end of that video, we actually even go through a business health assessment where I ask you some questions and have you rate where you're at in your business. And then I give you some really clear next steps based on how you scored, okay, to make it super easy on you. So I want to encourage you, go check that out. It's going to be a game changer building your business in 2026. And so with that, as always, I love and appreciate you guys so much. If you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that. If you haven't liked, what are you doing? If you have a comment, question, concern, you're like, Zach, you suck at everything, I don't care. Leave me a comment. I'll take all of it. So with that, love and appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.